Hi, how you doing? I'm just trying to figure out what color I'm wearing today. Thank you for joining me. My name is Tina Kvergich, and I am Northern Stamper. Thank you for joining me. It is Tuesday at 10 o'clock. I'm glad you could join me. Thank you. Post below where you're coming in from. I'd love to see where everybody is. I love it. So anyways, I have this little ring of colors, and I was wondering what today a color I am wearing. So I was going through and I have all these little color swatches and I was trying to figure out what color I'm wearing, and guess what color I'm wearing? I have decided, I have found out, I am wearing Pacific Point. Good morning, Liz. What color are you wearing today? I found out I'm wearing Pacific Point. See, look, I match. Look, Pacific Point. Oh, you can't see. There you go, Pacific Point. Anyways, thank you for joining me, and Carol, glad you can make it. And today we are going to make a really cool card with A Way Tuesday, and you have your little package. I have to let you know that if you have this package, you want to be very, very careful when you open it, because there are a ton of little pieces in there. So just be careful, okay? So I don't want you to lose any. Liz is wearing Poppy Parade. Hi, Betty. How you doing? So make sure you have your package. And you know what? You could use any stamp set today. I am using Special Moments from Celebration. Okay? And Special Moments, I love this stamp set because it is just filled with a whole bunch of different little sentiments. Like, totally fantastic. You know, can't go wrong. If you're going to get a stamp set and you don't have many, this is a really good one to get. And when you purchase at $120, you can get this one free. And that is really a good deal. So purchase $120, get this stamp set for free, and you don't have to worry too much about other sentiments and everything like that. It's really great, really great. Good morning, Sandra. I'm glad you could join. And Cindy and Lynn, thank you for checking in on us. Make sure you have your package for today and a stamp ink pad. I'm just going to use basic Memento black ink. So that's pretty simple what I'm going to use, and the Special Moments, okay? Now, if you don't have a demonstrator, I am actually located in Canada, so if you don't have a demonstrator and you would like a catalog, let me know. I have listed my link up above. Fill out the information and I'll pop one in the mail tomorrow. I am going to the mailbox tomorrow to mail everything. I have like a ton of stuff. I got like so much going out. I have the March 6th Friendly Hello classes have already gone out. Hopefully it's arriving today or tomorrow in your box. I have a few left over. If you want to join and you're a demonstrator or you already have the stamp set, which is, let me just grab it from my wall, the Friendly Hello. If you have it and you want the package for $15, let me know. I have 7 left and you could join in. It's a lot of fun. And I just, you know what, I just love this stamp set too very much. It's also 120 from the Celebration. And I just had to give a little bit extra. So not only are we going to be making 4 cards with this during the class, but I've also started creating some tutorials for extra cards for those that have joined the Friendly Hello March 6th class. I am making an extra video with like a whole bunch of other cards using the Designer Series paper. So you don't want to miss this. So make sure you get in if you have this stamp set. It is fantastic. I love it. 120. And you can get that stamp set for free. So I have 7 of those packages left, $15. Those that the option that I had with the stamp set are completely sold out. Those went in a snap. I love that stamp set. But I have 7 packages left. So let me know. Kim signed up for the Friendly Hello. I think so. Yes, I think you did. Let me double check that. So I have some left over. As I mentioned, I am located in Canada. So if you need any of the catalogs, let me know. And today we are going to be using some of the Designer Series paper from the catalog from Celebration. and we are using the Sunshines and Rainbow. Now, I gotta tell you, whenever you look in a catalog, the papers, I'm telling you, never look as pretty as when you get them. So, the papers are absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. I order all the papers because when I look in the catalog, I think, I don't know, but I am never disappointed when I get them. So, some of the ones I'm going to be using, I'm going to be making. This is just one pack, and check out the colors on that. I just love it. It is such a beautiful, beautiful colors in that. So you don't want to miss that out. So when you look in here, that was Abstract Beauty. Fantastic. The colors are great. You can't tell, honestly, once you get them, they are fantastic, and they are located on the mini catalog on page 86, so you can see them all here. And so let me know if you have any questions. So some of the designer series paper is in the Celebration. Get it for free. Or from the mini catalog. They got a whole bunch. Look, I even made a little box for all my little designer series papers. And I used some of the free paper. So I cut them all into 6x6. This was actually part of a paper share for $50. And you get a couple of pieces of each designer series paper. And I put it in, and I put on the front what it is and the colors and everything like that. So this is a great way to have a whole bunch of the pretty papers. So let me put that back in the box. Oh, I love them. I love papers. So that is all from the mini catalog. The annual catalog has some really great papers too. So you don't want to miss any of those. So let me try and clean up this a little bit. So I mentioned about the friendly hello. Oh, Take Away Tuesday for March. I have 3 packages left. They are going to be slimline cards. Can't show you them. Oh, can I show you them? Oh, I don't know if I can show you them. I'll show you. Oh, I can't show you them. I'll show you the back of one. Looks great. I gotta tell you, I love it. So I made some fancy fold slimline cards. I had to go from scratch because there are none out there that I could find. So at that time when I created these, I had to do it all from scratch. So it was great. I have to show off. So designer series paper makes great cards. I have to show off this card I got this week. Okay? Look at that. I got it from Joan. She added a little bit of vellum. Whoop, where is it? There you go. A little bit of vellum. She stamped on the vellum, ripped it out, stamped on it. And look at that. She used some of the paper from the, oh, just went out of my head. Symbols of Fortune. That's what it is. I love this. Paper is fantastic. Like, look at that card. And the fact that she matched it with some vellum and stamped on the vellum, I thought that was fantastic. I just love it. Great work, Joan. Thank you very much. Okay, enough going on about what I am yammering about. So did you mark what color you're wearing downstairs? Oh, Liz, you want to get 2 packs. Okay, I will set those aside for you. So get your package, okay, and a stamp pad. Remember, you can use whatever color you want. I'm just going to use basic black, the Memento Black, and my Special Moments because it's filled with sentiments. So grab your package. While you're grabbing your package and your ink pad, I'm going to pop you up onto the camera mount. Hold on a second, okay? There we go. Don't want you to get lost or seasick. So hold on. Let's flip you in. I know I'm not very high fancy technology here. I save all my money for my stamps. That's where it all goes to. As I mentioned, my name is Tina Kvergich, and I am Northern Stamper. I just want to turn off one of those lights. There we go. If you have any questions, drop me an email at northernstamper@gmail.com. Let's tack this down so it doesn't move. There we go. We got our Memento pad. There we go. Oh, Carol's wearing light Calypso Coral. Ooh, sounds so so exotic, like you're like down in the tropics, down in Cuba. Okay, so let's open our package, but please be very careful. There are a ton a ton of little pieces. Okay, so I'm going to open it up, right? And you will see a bunch of little squares probably falling out. Okay, so there are a lot of little pieces. Okay, let's go through them all. So I have the card base. I'm just taking that out. The card base is Evening Evergreen. It's a really nice dark green color. Anybody wearing Evening Evergreen? Love this color. So there's the card base. We are going to be making it landscape, so it's going to be long ways. So let's place that to the side. Make sure you got your card base. Okay, and inside is a pre-embossed using the gingham folder. Love that. Look at that. I just, you know what, I can't tell you enough how beautiful this is. I think this is my favorite embossing folder that I've ever had. And so that is, I don't want to say pale papaya. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I have to, oh my gosh, soft succulent. So we got this soft succulent. Karen had to pick them all off the floor. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's take our embossed piece of cardstock and place that with our card base off to the side. You will also notice there is a white 3x3 and then another soft succulent, which is slightly smaller than the white. Okay, so we're going to put those off to the side too. Betty matches the back of my slimline card. Oh, that's fantastic. So let's put these two off to the side. This is great. I love to see all your comments. It really makes me laugh. So there are a lot of a tiny little circle. Look for that little circle. That will be our sentiment. We will put our sentiment on that, place that off to the side. And what we're going to have left is a strip. I tried to make all the packages the same, so if yours is slightly different, I do apologize. I had to do with what I had. So there is a long strip. We're going to need that, and there are a whole bunch. I think I gave you a little extra. So what you want to do is kind of sort them out to what the little colors are going to be. Take a look on each side. And the main focus that we're going to be looking at is the one with the rainbow. If you don't want to use the one with the rainbow, that's totally up to you. Flip it over and use whatever you like. So let's kind of sort those out a little bit. It's like doing a pre-puzzle, right? Okay, so these are the ones I'm going to use. Totally, if you don't want to use the yellow, flip it over and use the other side. If you don't want to use the green, flip it over. Oh, look at that. There's a rainbow on that side too. Oh, look. So you can use whatever rainbow you want. So there are two different rainbows. There's one with the soft sea foam, Bermuda Bay, and another little blue. And then there's one that's a little bit, has a little bit of the stronger pink color. So figure out which one you're going to use. I am going to use not the ones with the pink. Okay, so I like the greens on that, so I'm going to use the one with the greens. So let's sort them out. So give me a thumbs up when you have sorted out all your little squares and place them in their little pile. You definitely will need at least 3 of each. There are a couple of extra just in case you lost one on the floor like Karen. Okay, so give me a thumbs up when you're ready and we will keep going. So this paper is actually from the celebration, and as I mentioned, it's sunshine and rainbows, and you can get that for free when you spend $60 or more. Now, if you do want to purchase items, let me know, or I can help you try and maximize the amount to get the most for your money. Okay, so let's get started. So I have these all sorted out. I am going to get my soft succulent cardstock that is square. Okay, so let's go get that out. And what I want to do, okay, I love little pieces. I love DSP because you can do so much with it. What I want to do is I am going to make like a little board. So I'm going to take my pieces and I'm going to place them on. Okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to repeat the pattern on each row, but by moving it over one. So my rainbow is in the first spot. In the next row, I'm going to have my rainbow moved over one spot. So this one on the end would go in the front. Okay, and so the yellow, the next pattern is yellow. Gonna pop that on there. Make sure that your directional DSP is going the same way. So this one is going horizontal. I don't want this last one going up and down because for some reason your mind doesn't like that, and it will say, oh, it's like an itch in your mind. So you want to place the pieces going the same way. Same like if you had a rainbow going sideways or upside down. Your brain says that just is not right. So I'm going to go down to the third one. Now I'm going to move it over. That one goes in there. That one goes, oh, that one goes to the front and there. Now, what I want to do is make sure that they all fit in, and this should be set up that it should be just a small little space in between each square. So I'm going to slowly move them up so that they all fit. Okay? Now these pieces are 1 inch by 1 inch. So if you ever want to repeat this, you might want to write that down. The little square pieces are 1 inch by 1 inch. Okay? So I have them all laid down. And there's a nice pattern going, so it's kind of repeating, so my mind is not going, I just, there's that itch, I can't fix it. So once you have it laid out with the way that you like it, you're going to carefully, and I'm going to use, if there's enough left in here, my liquid glue. Okay, the reason I'm going to use the liquid glue is because it will give me time to kind of move things around. And I'm going to start in the first square because that is going to be my anchor point, that where I'm going to start everything from. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on and place it in the first little square. Okay, and now that's going to tell me, whoops, there we go, see, it moves, on how I'm going to start with the spacing on the next ones. The liquid glue will still be good enough that I can move it around. Add a little bit more glue. Doesn't matter if you go this way or that way. Okay, I want to set it up so that I have enough space in between and I can move it around. I'm carefully going to line it up with the one above it with some nice spacing. And I can bring it down a little bit because it's the liquid glue, and then a little bit onto the bottom one. So I'm going to take some glue, a little bit. This glue is fantastic. You don't need a whole bunch, and once it dries, it is nice and strong. So that's why it's really good for so many things, and it's a great value too. Oh, that reminds me, I have got things in the VIP group, and on this page, I'm going to be talking about crafting on a budget. I don't know about you, but I'm always on a budget and I love to save money. So make sure that you keep an eye out next month or this month coming up for some tips and ideas on crafting on a budget. A little bit more. Now I'm going to move on to the next row and I'm going to carefully place it on. Okay. And I'm lining it up. Oops, you see it's moving around. And I'm lining it up with the first square. And I'm going to keep going across because then the ones down here will slowly fall into place. This is just like a little jigsaw puzzle. I love jigsaw puzzles. I haven't done a jigsaw puzzle in a long time though. Maybe I should go and pick one up. I haven't found one that I really like yet. I'm very particular on many things, like jigsaw puzzles. I just don't like the plain old jigsaw puzzle where it's just, the picture of the cottage and the flowers, and I like something interesting. I don't know about you. Do you like jigsaw puzzles that have an interesting picture? So, okay, let's move this on. I can still kind of move these ones around, spacing it out. Okay, this is not a rush, so I'm going to take our time. And moving on. There we go. This is going to look great when it's done. This is fantastic for all those little bits and bobs that you have left over. At the end, I have a whole bunch of little scraps. And this is a perfect card to make it with. Okay, so keep going, following that pattern. And my last row. Oops. There we go. Stay. Sit. There we go. This paper is so happy looking. It's great for birthdays, I think. It's so happy. Okay. And there we go. So now I have them all laid down, and I was able to move them all around so that they all have a nice kind of line in between going up and down. Okay, so there's that going up and down. All right, I'm going to let that sit for a minute. If you really want, you can always get a block and place it on top and weight it down if you've used the liquid glue, and that will make sure that it doesn't move anywhere. But it doesn't take long for the glue to dry, so maybe about a minute or two in that set. So I have that. Actually, I'm going to place that off to the side. Okay, I'll just leave that block on there. Why not? Now, I'm going to bring in the rest of my card pieces, okay? So let's get working with this. Now, I am going to just burnish this a little bit so it lays a little flat, okay? And I am going to get the piece that is dry embossed. Now, when I talk about dry embossed, I mean that this is, I've taken the embossing folder and run it through my cut and emboss machine. So this is dry embossed. So love that gingham look. Just fantastic. I think the embossing folders really add quite a bit. So you'll see that this fits on the front of the card. I'm not gluing it down, but I want to show you how we're going to place this card together. I'm going to take the long strip that I have, and I'm going to place it right on about near the bottom 1/3 area. Okay, so that's about one finger width above from the bottom. So you see it's going to sit on top there, spanning across this embossed piece. Once we have that down, let's add some glue to glue down this piece of designer series paper to that embossed cardstock. Okay, and again, the liquid glue works really well with embossed pieces of cardstock because it kind of squishes in between all of the little spaces. Okay, we'll glue that down, put my little block on there. Okay, so we've got that. Let it sit for a minute, and we can talk about what colors you're wearing. There we go. Do you ever get up every morning? I get up every morning wondering, what color of Stampin' Up! Am I going to wear? I don't know. So now this should be fairly dry that I can pick it up and move it around. I am going to, if you want, I'm actually going to place this on dimensionals, this piece, because I think I'm going to add some height to that. Give it something interesting. And I'm using these tiny little itty bitty mini dimensionals, so you don't have to use as many as I do, but it's just what I had close at hand, and they do stick really well. Okay, let's get the backing off. Oh, it's going along. Okay, with our dimensionals, or you can just glue it straight onto the card base, whatever you like. There is no right or wrong. So let's flip that over and place it onto the card base, and make sure that your card base is going the right way. So not that it's sitting upside down. That would be something else. Okay, so I have the piece mounted onto the cardstock with a nice frame around. I've got the white. Now I've got my 3x3 white, and that is going to fit somewhere right. You can have left or right, it's up to you, doesn't matter. And our piece should fit right on top with a nice white frame around. Again, I'm going to use the liquid glue to adhere this to the basic white. Okay, gonna pop that on. Have a nice frame around. There you go. Again, but I think what I'm going to do, I feel like a whole bunch of dimensionals. So I'm going to add this onto dimensionals too. Turn it over and add some dimensionals onto the back. I'm going to pop this up too. Everything's going to be popped up. It's like wearing a Wonder Bra. Anyways, so. Okay, let's pop these guys up. And flip it over. You could place it on the left or the right, whatever you choose. And I'm going to have it so that it has a nice little area around and a frame. So if I tuck it too far up, yeah, you know, your eye is going to kind of say, you know, I don't know. But you want a nice frame around, okay? So I'm going to let this all dry, and I'm going to work on my sentiment. So let's pop that off to the side there and get my memento. And I'm going to look, because this is a very small circle, I'm going to look for a sentiment in here that is going to fit. And the ones right down the middle fit really well in there. So let's see what we got. So they got quite a few. Just a little high from me. The thing I like about you is everything. Hello, sunshine. Thanks. You know, just to see which ones fit, I would take it and I would lay it on top. And obviously this one is too big, so that one's not going to be working. So this one says, just a little note, a little high for me. And I actually think that's really cute. I'm going to send that out to somebody in particular that I have in mind that needs this card. Now, I'm going to place it on my block. Now, this is a little A block. It's the tiniest block that they have, but it fits pretty well. And it's a little angled because, you know, when I stamp, I try and focus on the image and not on the block to get straight. It's when I first started, I realized I was making all of my stamps square with the block, and if my stamp on here was crooked, I would stamp on an angle. So I'm going to stamp that, and if it didn't fit, I just flip it over. Hey, that looks really cool. Now, if you want, and you have a little stash of like ribbons and stuff, grab some of those ribbons, use them up. I have a whole box full of here, and when I have like scraps, I toss it in. So look at this. Some of the scraps would actually match. Make sure, oh, look, that one is almost perfect. Grab some, oh, look at that. Grab some of those scraps and keep them close by. Now, I didn't put a little ribbon in because I didn't have any of the ribbon at the time when I was cutting this. Now, this is something, if you want, you would just add yourself. And I'm just going to add a little bit. I'm going to make a little piece over here. I'm just going to hold it over and see what it looks like. Doesn't mean that you have to do it. So, but let's see. I could do it like that. I can do it like this. And let's get some of this. I'm just going to cut it. I'm going to cut it on an angle to give it some design. Now this is totally up to you if you want to do this. Any color or ribbon would work. You don't want to use ribbon, that's okay too. And let's pop this on. And I'm actually going to place it like it's a little award. Because being my friend is reward itself. Oh, I'm just kidding. I just appreciate everybody that joins me. So I'm just going to pop on a little piece of ribbon. See, it's like these little squares. You don't need a lot. You just need a little bit. And actually, there's a way that you can extend this to make even the smallest pieces, maybe not quite this tiny, but you can use a whole bunch of little pieces to make your cards. All right, so where did those little pop-up dots go? All right, we're going to pop this up too. Put some dimensionals on the back. Oh, Faye is running to a meeting. All right, Faye, we will see you later. Hope you have a great day. Okay, let's get on these. Come on. I'll just pop these up on the little dimensionals. There we go. Now, again, like your little bits of ribbon, if you have some embellishments that you want to add, go right ahead. Add some in, you know, even just laying them across. Say I have this on a clear sheet. I can lay it down and see, you know, where I want it, or if I want it at all. Or I could use like another one. This way I can see, you know, which ones I want to use without taking them off. And I think I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And it looks like I need a few more dimensionals on the back. And I'm actually going to add some more because it didn't seem to be sticking quite down. Oh, come on. Anybody have a fight with their dimensionals? Ah! All right. Let's get these ones on. Trying to make it a little higher on one side than the other because it's kind of going off on the card. So because this is a little high, I'm going to add a second 2-level dimensional on one side to make it even. Oh, that's a little better. So I added 2 little dimensionals on top of each other to bring it up on that one side. I don't think you can see it, but there it is. And 1 dimensional on where it's covering over this way. It's nice and flat. So there we go. There is our card for Takeaway Tuesday with all of our little bits and bobs. You can add a little bit more with some Wink of Stella. Just kind of just add that a little. Give it some sparkle. Okay, I'm just going to tap that around. I'm going to go around the wording on my sentiment all the way around with my Wink of Stella. Or you can actually do it to the little squares. It's up to you. So remember this kind of pattern for when you have a bunch of scraps. This is really great for using up all those scraps and really focusing on the DSP. Especially if you don't have too many stamps and you have just something with sentiments. So something like this kind of card would work really well. So there you go. There's the special moments. $120 for celebration. And really, you can make a ton of cards just using this one stamp set and designer series paper. It's a lot of fun. Take a look at some of the other designer series paper that they have. They are absolutely beautiful. I'm going to be making some cards with this. And this pattern would actually work really well, again, with this layout. So, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Or if you would like to join in for the March Friendly Hello, I have a few packages left. And the Slimline March Takeaway, I have 3 packages left, and those are $15. So let me know if you have any questions. And until next time, my friends, don't forget northernstamper@gmail.com. If you have any questions about what to order, or when to order, or what's coming out, let me know. I have all the news for you. Take care and have a great day.